Hey yo everyone, long time no see. Many things happened in it. Well, I wanna go back to create videos and I will start with awful shit. Told in a funny way? I'm trying to create some good out of the awful collection of anecdotes I'll tell you about. Disclaimer here, first story is about abuse and very heavy stuff will be mentioned, so if it might hurt you, please click away. The story goes like this. There was this silly shy girl who moved away from her hometown, and amidst the many people she met, there was this guy who seemed interesting and she liked him. They started dating, got serious, to the point they moved together. After years of he struggling to make a living, and she been lucky enough to give him a space to feel safe and try to grow and work on his trauma. On their first date, he pushed her to the tears because during the chit chat, she expressed it was easier for her to feel empathy for animals than for people, and he called her an hypocrite and a terrible person. Also, this was this other time when she was really sick and she ditched the friend group to go rest. He averted the goodbye kiss, completely livid, because she was abandoning him and his very important plan of eating ice cream with the boys. She ended up apologizing for that, of course she did. When confronted with this terrible reaction, he was like, "Oh, how convenient you are questioning our relationship now that you're traveling to your hometown to bang every single dick warrior in existence." So yeah, she reassured that wasn't it, and of course the blame shifted. One time she lost the bus, even not being the most punctual person. She was late like for 30 minutes. He was so enraged, calling her out in the street for being cruel and not having any respect for him and his plans of spending the day. He came from a very complicated background, and that was a free pass for his attitude most times. He also did this thing of having these very long and punishing silences, like brooding into the distance, not telling her what was wrong but letting her know she did something wrong. That was like a daily thing, but he was good enough that she couldn't find the strength to leave him. Even when he told her that her brother's depression and plausible suicide will be on her. Yes, he apologized there and like 4 other times during this 6 years relationship. So you get the dynamic. Stupid idiot not knowing how to do best, but trying, a narcissistic asshole making her feel guilt and doubt for every single thing she did and things she did not. He was like, "You're a puny, spiteful human being who is incapable of love," and she thought, yeah, he might have a point, right? Her most terrible crime was not being horny all the time. You see, this male person was obsessed with the amount of sex he could get. It was like a life-meaning score of manliness, and her, well, she was abused as a minor and had plus 10 years of libido-killing pills on her body, so you can guess it was not the best match. And of course that was a personal insult from her to him. She clearly was like this just to hurt him. And yeah, being unhappy with a part of your relationship is valid, but going your way on the other person without caring if they are into it, yeah, that's not. First time this happened, he blamed her for not stopping him because she was into some kinks. The fact that she didn't push him away and screaming was a yes big enough. So yeah, pushing him also meant more punishment and guilt over not being the horny person he needed. So yeah, on top of being clearly used as a toy, that was a hard call for her. And without factoring, she was probably having some PTSD reaction over the fact that she was being abused again. But the thing is that she loved him. So this miserable existence this person insisted, the lack of daily sex created for him, made her think on options. And at some point, she told him that they could arrange him to have a partner or something. That wasn't talked again, and they kept on having a very harming and depressing partnership. On a birthday of hers, he got insanely mad and ditched the shared group of friends because he didn't like some attitudes. Like 3 years from that, he finally explained that it was because she laid her head on one of the male friends' shoulder to watch them play cards. It was the first time she felt safe and welcome in the group, and after doing that, she went to kiss this idiot, and he was like, "Nope," averting in public and completely mad with jealousy. Of course, he didn't tell her that and made her feel guilty about something she wasn't sure was happening. He was obsessed with the fact that she would cheat on him, which is funny because the thing about that sex partner came back again like years after the initial approach. One day, this girl was going to the school project and he announced it totally unprompted that yesterday he confessed having feelings to a girl in the group of friends they shared, and that the relationship was now open because of that talk they had like 2 years before, and that she wasn't able to say a thing on that because she liked another guy in the group. This guy he was using as a free pass was in fact a friend who she started getting close via memes, who is actually quite good looking. In her was no more intention that, being hanging around him, being his friend. But of course this was not acceptable because he was hot, and having friends you might consider hot is a crime you must not commit. So yeah, she coped with that the best she could. If it was good for him, if it made him happy, she cared enough to let him do whatever he wanted. It will be okay, she could work on it. Boy, that got worse real quick when he started dating and having unprotected with randoms after things with this first girl went downhill. During a summer she wasn't even in the same town, and always telling her after the things happened, never letting her have a say on or negotiating the terms of their supposedly open relationship, something that affected her daily life. Yeah, turned ugly. She had like a weekly panic attack at least. She ended up transforming herself into a cleaning maid who needed to allow extra to be done on her to prove her value. Even after all those years she gave him, she was worth less than any of these randos, and all of this nightmare was earned. It was a fair punishment for not being normal and being horny all the time, for abandoning him, feeling miserable. He didn't care, and she was a husk of a person with no self-preserving instincts, so he got her pregnant. He never asked nor cared about avoiding or being careful with her, and she was also off pills to be into the thing that he wanted. She also had a medical condition that did this extra dangerous. She had an abortion, and the pain was so excruciating she overdosed on pills, and yeah, felt really scared of dying that night. She needed to ask him to stay at her side during this procedure that could kill her. It was funny because he took days of work to be with his main hookup all the time, but when she asked for this, it was like a personal and special favor. She also asked for a month of mental peace until she was able to move out. No sexual escapades, no signs of this invasion on her life all the time. He had many gifts of her and love letters laying around. Yeah, love letters written in poems, very cringy, very teenage, and this hookup was not a teenage. It was funny and terrible. And she asked no sexual escapades. Well, they saw each other in secret, so not even that was allowed for her to ask. Since the beginning, this was supposed to be a punishment for her, for not being perfectly what he needed all the time. She spied his messages to feel some sense of control, burned some of those cringy letters. She clearly had reached bottom. Finally, they stopped living together, and she wanted to cut the things bit by bit because many years and many shared friends. After all these things that happened, she didn't saw it. She still cared for him. He stood her up when she was trying to put an effort and be friendly with him. He equated the importance of spending time with his dog that he sees all the time to talking to her and having things in clear, because he was telling other people that they still dated, and she couldn't take that. The last time they saw each other, he told her he skipped any sense of respectful breaking up times and started dating his main hookup, the one with the cringe letters, officially. He also cried like the most intense tears she ever saw in his face when she sent messages to these people, these randos, explaining her anger and her side. At that moment she knew. She saw it clear as water. Those tears were there to guilt trip her and nothing else. That time, for the first time, she felt rage. In a random chat, a friend told her the sad and terrible truth. He never cared about her. Even if he believed otherwise, his actions were clear. So when he messaged her, telling her he was doing therapy and wanted to apologize, she knew this was on his benefit and didn't respond. She was scared of going out and crossing him because anything that reminded her of him made her go into an instant panic attack. So yeah, that wasn't a good space for her. And that's it. He used her and discarded her bit by bit when she wasn't capable of doing more. After years, she realized all of this and came clean slowly to friends and worked a lot healing herself. The amazing people around her, their support, dragged her out of that pit she was on. The one this person consistently helped to dig. She's better now, believe me. This person is me. I don't feel like my former self, luckily. I am still very angry with this person with a clear personality disorder because he wasted so much of my time, love, money, and effort. And if he's watching this, I tell you, you can rot in hell and you don't deserve the love of anyone. Yeah, and I hope that you don't do this again, or at least the people around you are not as stupid as I was. I wanted to put this out in the air. It feels like finally clearing my guilt of my own lack of self-love that allowed all these things to happen. Nobody should go through this. Nobody should suffer the things I suffered. I hope that if somebody is going through something like this, they realize they deserve better and get the fuck out of the terrible relationship. You deserve to be happy. Nobody should tell you otherwise. If you have any doubt or if you need a word, you can comment. I won't discuss anything about the and any pro-lifer will be banned. If you want to ruin a child's life, that's on you, not on me. In any case, I hope this wasn't as heavy as it was living through it, and in a sense, there was some sense of entertaining. Thank you so much for your attention, and any support here and in other social media I have is very welcome. I'll try to post some more of these things with various terrible topics. Like, I want to be free of the big chunk of bad stuff so I can eventually move into pets and overall wholesome and silly content. I want to talk about my teenage years and my school and having shitty friends while I was very young. So yeah, if you want drama, you can come back here. And after that, I will talk about pets and silly stuff and RPGs, games, and me being a silly fangirl. So yeah, I don't know. This is kind of a diary or something for me. Maybe somebody will find enjoyment of that. Have a nice day today, and I hope I see you soon, eventually, something. Thank you again for watching. See ya.